Hi beautiful people, I hope that you are doing well. Today I thought I'm going to record a little more like a chit chat video just to really dive into a topic that I'm really interested about and I am really passionate about. And I hope that you will like it. I hope that you grab yourself a cup of tea so you can enjoy these more chatty video. You can do some little things, like cooking and stuff. That's kind of what I like to do when I'm watching other people's videos. And yeah, let's dive right into it. So I'm going to talk about my experience as exchange student and just want to put it out there. This is my experience. For those of you who have done exchange, you will know that every single experience is unique and is very individual, although there are some kind of very shared characteristics when it comes with that. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching in advance. I hope that you will like it. If you do, please give it a like and subscribe if you would like to support my channel. So let's get into it. I have my favorite rooibos tea. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the rooibos tea, but it's like a South African black tea, or for those of you who are from the UK, you guys or we love black tea or Earl Grey. So rooibos tea is kind of like an African equivalent of that. Anyways, I think that's gonna be a different story when I went to Africa. So yeah, my exchange student experience. So let's start from the beginning, really. When I was 18, I know now I'm 26, gonna be 27 in summertime, which I'm really excited about. When I was 18, and my parents have been involved with this organization called Rotary International. Some of you might heard about that. Rotary International is a big organization. Apart from other things they do, like community service and raising awareness, they have their own foundation, and their big campaign was to eliminate polio from the world. They're really close to do so. They're really close. I should say we are really close because I am associated with Rotary to this day. And yeah, so the only two countries, if you're interested, that do still have wild polio disease are northern part of Pakistan and Afghanistan, and it's because of the conflict. People and volunteers are not able to get there and vaccinate the children and the people for now. But we are really hoping that that can be sorted out sooner or later. So yeah, so Rotary International, apart from things like these amazing projects, they also do youth exchange programs. And the one I was involved with is called Rotary Youth Exchange, or RYE. And by that time, my sister has already been on her exchange, my older sister, in Iowa for a year, USA. And kind of I was the next. So obviously I was very excited. So the process depends from country to country, from Rotary Club to Rotary Club. But I could choose or kind of like put list of the countries that I would want to go to. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna get there, but at least so they have an idea, an understanding of kind of where you want to go and stuff like that. And bear in mind, you could get picked somewhere completely different, What's amazing about this exchange experience is that you are going to be living with host families or people that Rotary selects for you. And because they're such a big organization, most of the time it happens that the families are also involved with Rotary in some way or another. So I, again, just speaking from my personal experience, because I know different exchange students from even different organizations have completely different way of dealing with this, but usually with Rotary, you don't have just one host family. for myself, every 3 months I would go to a different one. I suppose they have their own ways of explaining why and their own reasons. I suppose you don't get very emotionally attached to them, but I did anyways. I feel like all my 3 host families are like my families still right now. So that's just kind of a background of why I went with Rotary. You know, there are other organizations, like I've mentioned, like AFS. From what I know, you know, you have Erasmus or Erasmus Plus. Erasmus is not really exchange with host family, but more cross-university exchange programs and stuff like that. So there are different kind of things out there. But the thing with Rotary Youth Exchange is that they have an age equivalent. You can't go older than 18. I think that's what it is. So I was picked. You know, you go through kind of application process and stuff like that. I was being selected from the applicants, and off I went. And my beautiful place was Idaho. I'm gonna try to put some pictures in here so you know something about it. Idaho Sun Valley, and I was so excited for my adventure to start. So, as I've mentioned, Idaho Sun Valley was selected for me, and for those of you who know Sun Valley, or for those of you who are from the US, you will know that Sun Valley is one of the most beautiful places that you could go to. I was very lucky, and I still feel I'm extremely lucky that I was in Sun Valley. It's like this beautiful ski resort. A lot of celebrities go there, or have some houses, or go for holiday, go skiing and stuff like that. I did meet a few celebrities actually. I was very lucky. But I just want to go through the whole story with you. So it was August. I was kind of like the last exchange student because my place has not been confirmed yet, but then just the last minute, end of August, which is quite late for exchange students to travel to their host countries. So I went, when was it? 2012. I left Slovakia. I went from Budapest airport. I think it was Budapest. Oh my gosh, do I remember? From Budapest to Paris, and from Paris to Atlanta, and from Atlanta to Boise, which is the capital of Idaho. And oh my gosh, it was the first time that I've traveled on my own, and it was amazing and crazy at the same time. I remember I fall asleep in Paris at the airport, and I woke up and I was very late. I almost lost my flight, but that was a part of the adventure, really. So after like 15 hours of traveling on and off and sleeping at the airport in Paris overnight, I made it to Boise, and amazing people from Rotary were waiting for me. That's what usually happens. Someone is there to pick you up and obviously just drive you to your final destination, which was Sun Valley for me. Sun Valley is quite a small city, so they don't have their own airport. They do have a place where you can land your private jet and stuff like that, but nothing too crazy, nothing too big. So, and bear in mind, at this stage of my life, yes, I did learn some English in my high school in Slovakia, but it was not on the level that I would be very comfortable having deep conversation with you. It was just kind of like, this is my name, I knew some basics and stuff like that. Obviously, it's very different if you live in a country. It's very, very different experience. I think for those of you who have lived in different countries, it's obvious, you know, that it's the best way to learn countries, to immerse yourself in that culture and be around those people and having conversations and having friends from different cultures and study in actual school that speaks the language you would like to learn. And I'm not saying there are no other ways to learn a language, but for me, that's what works the best. So I went to see my first host family, amazing family. Again, I was very lucky with all of my 3 host families. And the thing with Rotary, how it works, they have a district. So my district was like an Idaho district. They have like a funny numbers and stuff, which you know, for those of you familiar with Rotary, you might know. So I was assigned to District Idaho, and a part of the districts are all the small towns and cities that are within Idaho, let's say. And they have their own Rotary clubs, and other exchange students from completely different countries. I think we had around 20, let's say we have 20 or 25 exchange students within the district, okay? You know, I was from Slovakia, we had people from Spain, we had people from Italy, Brazil, South America, all different countries, Finland, Sweden, all different countries within Europe, South America, and sometimes there are kind of like some South Asian countries. We had one girl from Turkey as well. But obviously it all depends of what exchange is happening within the host country and the country that is sending the exchange student from. So suddenly, obviously, the amazing thing is we had, I think, 4 these orientation meetings within a year of me being there. So you really get to know those people, you really get to know these exchange students, and because they are as lost as you are, they become your family, they become your point of contact, they are like my family. I love them so much, every single one of them. And I feel like it's such an interesting and very, very strong relationship that I know that if I will travel to their country, let's say, that they will meet me most likely, obviously, if they're not doing anything else. I don't want to sound like it's for sure and stuff like that, but for some of you, or for those of you who have not experienced that, I think it's just a very strong feeling, very strong relationship that you build. It's friendship / almost like a family, because we really were there for each other. We were communicating throughout the year, and then during those orientation meetings we had so much fun and we really got to know each other, and we were just together in that, and it was really beautiful, and I always cherish those memories. Sometimes I just flick through the pictures and I'm just like, my babes. So where I was going with this, I had a great support network around me when I did my exchange year or gap year, whatever you want to call it. And because of that, I know that my experience has been definitely altered by those people who were around me. Those Rotarians that were supporting me along the way, my host families. I had even great experience at my high school, you know. It was definitely an interesting one. I mean, you know, I was watching American movies since I was a little girl, like every other European child. So that was kind of my perception, like High School Musical, Mean Girls, like what is it gonna be? High School Musical or Mean Girls? But I luckily did not really have experience of any Mean Girls. Obviously there are kind of like these stereotypes that are quite funny and quite intriguing. But yeah, I'm really grateful that I went through this process. And it's really interesting now looking back, because I know how much that has impacted the way I live my life right now, or what I choose to do, and people that I choose to associate myself with. Even my identity really changed. I was never really strong in my national identity. It's not the first point of contact that I go to if someone asks me something about myself. I feel like, yes, I am from that country, but I just don't have very strong national identity, let's just say that. But also that could be the fact that I studied sociology at the university in London, and I just kind of, if you know anything about sociology, it's all about just removing the labels and removing all the identities and just, you know, here we are, you are what you are. Obviously I'm trying to simplify it, and I hope that people who do study sociology and are watching this video are not going to be terrified. And I love sociology. I feel like I'm a sociologist in heart, and I try to analyze everything that's going on. But definitely looking back, I know that because it's such an international experience, and just very multicultural bunch of people together, it's going to change you. It's going to change the way you see yourself and the world. And it was very strange for me, especially after, bonding with those people. And after, bear in mind, after Christmas, after December, I remember we all could speak very good English. We all were just like part of each other's groups. I had my own groups, I was playing chess. I was, singing in choir. I was just playing guitar. I was going to art club. I was just being surrounded by these exchange students, but also I was creating new connections with people in my high school, and I was really just establishing my life the way I want. And then suddenly you have to leave. And I was the last exchange student to go. Again, end of August, my visa was about to expire, and I just had to leave. And it's one of the just weirdest feeling in the world, because you feel like this is your family, this is your place to be, and obviously now you have to just go. And it's definitely a conflicting feeling, because you are very excited to go back and see your family after a year and just see how they do and what they're up to. But on the other hand, you don't want to live this life. And bear in mind, US and Slovakia, it's across the ocean. It's not just so easy to go back so often, So it was definitely heartbreaking for me to leave. And when I came back, I had the biggest cultural shock that I could have when I came back to Slovakia. I started noticing things that I did not notice before. And the most important thing is that obviously you've just had this experience of a lifetime for a year in a completely different country with a completely different language. And you are coming back to something that you don't remember as much anymore. And you've changed so much. And nothing really changed when you came back. Obviously people change and they do have their own experiences, but the thing is, no one understands what you've been going through, and you're trying to explain. I think the only people who understood were like my sister and the people that have undergone their exchange. But I felt almost like a sense of very kind of like a big nostalgia, if you know what I'm talking about. Nostalgia. And the first few months, I just wanted to go back. I just wanted to go back to my life. I missed speaking in English. I missed the American accent. I missed the foods. As strange as it sounds to go on Tuesday, every Tuesday have quesadilla in a local cafe. I missed those intricate experiences that I've created when I was there with my people that I loved, and I love so much. And it was very difficult, I'm not gonna lie. Still give me shivers when I think about it, because it really was such a life-changing experience for me. And I know a lot of people who have experienced that as well. And don't get me wrong, I was very excited to see my family. Let me see. Such a beautiful tea. I was very excited to go back and see my family and my sisters, that I haven't seen for so long. But yeah, I think the only way I can describe it, it was a very strange experience, but also quite eye-opening at the same time. And I still had to finish 1 year. Like, I would just want to go back and just live there forever, I feel like. But I had to finish my high school in Slovakia, and I did. And again, I tried to explain myself, but you can't really explain what you've been through, because your experiences and your life changes who you are, and it's just really difficult to explain something like that. But because my previous class has already graduated, I was enrolled with a new class, which I'm really grateful for, because they were also very supportive, an amazing group of people. And I finished my high school and I went to Prague for 3 months, I would say, just because I felt like maybe it's going to give me the same feeling, but it didn't. And I really was thinking a lot about who I am, who I want to become, what my values are. And I can tell you that this exchange program has redefined new values that I haven't had before, or I wasn't so aware before. Things like, it's so important for me that I'm surrounded by people from all walks of life, different ethnicities and different sexualities and genders and different kinds of identifications. It's really important for self-learning and educating myself and just feeling the kind of normalcy that I needed. Being surrounded by exchange students or international people or people from different walks of life is very important for me. And I feel like that gives me the feeling that everyone's kind of being represented when we are so together. That there is this understanding, there is this profound feeling of intimacy in a way, because it gives you a space to talk and discuss things that maybe some people are uncomfortable doing so. But I think that gave me so much confidence in myself to ask questions that I wasn't being told in my country to ask, or I was being discouraged to do so. And I'm really grateful for that. And I love being around people that are different and diverse, and they're just themselves in their beautiful and unique way. And it just gives me so much joy that I'm able to be there and just experience that. And I didn't really get that feeling in Prague. I didn't really get that feeling in Czech Republic. Czech Republic is a really similar culture. It's a similar experience. At least for me, that was like that. Again, just my personal experience. And then I went to the UK. I moved to Bristol for a few months. And honestly, I love Bristol. For those of you who know Bristol or who have been to Bristol, it's such a beautiful, first of all, it's a student city, so obviously that kind of gives you that experience in a way, but I was kind of just between Bristol and London, and actually I came back after 3 months to Prague again, but I just decided that I want to stay here. I want to stay in the UK, at least for now. I want to stay in the UK. But I just love that I can almost reinvent myself every time I come to a different country. And don't get me wrong, reinvent myself, I mean, it's another opportunity, it's another chance for me to just really step into like the most foundational core of who I am and what's important for me. And what's important for me is to harness my sense of curiosity. And I am able to do that when I'm in environment of people who are different, and I love asking questions. I love asking all kinds of questions of all kinds of people, and I just love being in that space that I can learn something from someone else's life, and I just think that's so beautiful. And I think that's why I stayed here. I studied in Bristol for 2 years, then I transferred to London, Brunel University. I graduated from Brunel, and that was such a beautiful experience again as well. Brunel is one of the most diverse multicultural universities in London, I think, definitely in the UK as well. And for me, that's a real representation, that's a real diversity, that you walking around the campus and you feel like you're not the only one who look like you or speak like you or have accent like you. And I just love that feeling of being accepted for who I am, and also that my identity, let's say my national identity, is being seen as something to learn from, not something to point to. It's not the first pointer that I have an accent, or it's not a first thing to differentiate myself from. But it's more of a conversation, an open dialogue for conversation, and I love being curious, don't get me wrong, but sometimes I think there's a way of asking, where are you from, or why do you speak like that, that's respectful, not disrespectful. And I just find that being in a context that really embraces globality and the global context of identity just gave me hope and gave me ease and gave me freedom and left me feeling empowered and myself in a way that I have not seen or experienced before. That being said, after this long dialogue or monologue, I mean, I kind of feel like I'm speaking to you, so if you have a chance to experience, go on a journey to travel, go for it. You will not regret traveling to a different country. You will not regret taking on that internship in different country or learning a new language. I feel like I know there's a saying that more languages you speak, more of a person you are, and that's 100% true. I wish, and I am going to, that's going to be my way of giving the world back. I want to learn new language. I want to learn as many new languages really as I can, because then you really get a glimpse of what the culture is like and what the country is like, what the people are like. And don't get me wrong, of course there are issues politically and socioeconomically in every single country. I'm not saying that that's not true, but I think having that experience as an exchange student gave me almost like a fresh eyes, fresh perspective to look at the country or look at the culture or the way people are living, which is obviously very diverse. Everyone's experience is very different, but gave me a fresh perspective to just be curious and ask questions and just really dive deep into why people are doing things like that. And it's just embrace that diversity, embrace that beauty that traveling comes with that. And I just am so passionate about this topic because I know how much it has changed my life, and I know how much and how many people's lives have been changed by experiences like these. And yeah, so I just wanted to share, and I just wanted to encourage you, just go for it. Just go. Obviously now we are in a global pandemic, endemic, whatever you want to call it. But just plan something for yourself. If you want to have experience that is life-changing, I would 100% encourage you to undergo exchange program or something like that. And I know that living in a different country now, having lived in various different countries, I know that had a profound impact on what profession do I want to go to, what sector do I want to go to, what causes I want to support, and being drawn to, charity organization, international development studies, peace, conflict resolution, things like that. That came from that experience, that came from that knowing that things can work if we have people at the table having the platform to express their worries, express their desires in a respectful way. And that experience gave me that. So I am so thankful to Rotary, and that's the reason why I'm still involved with them, through being a part of a Rotaract club, which is kind of like another part of Rotary International, but more aimed at young people. Although now there is no cap, there's no age cap anymore, but it's usually a young group of people who want to make a difference in their community in some way. And I'm just really grateful for all the people who have been kind to me when I was on my exchange, all the people who have shown me compassion and patience, and to my host families who have took me to their home, which I will never take for granted. And they saw me as a part of their family, and they continue to do so. And that's what I wish for everyone to experience: more compassion and kindness and love in this world. And yeah, so that was kind of like my way of explaining a little bit really about myself, because that really is a part of who I am and what I'm about and what I stand for. So I hope that you've enjoyed your tea. I hope that you've enjoyed these little chitty chat. And please, leave a link down below or in comment section down below if you've experienced something like that. What organization did you travel with and how did it change your life? I'm actually preparing a little project that I'm very excited about, all about story sharing and storytelling and people who have experienced these things through traveling, how it changed their life and perspective. So if you would like to be a part of the project, please do let me know. And yeah, I speak to you later. Thank you.